Good day, class. I am Dexter P. Perote, and at this very moment, I'll be going to discuss about the minerals. So, are you willing to learn something new about the one of the components of the nutrition? If yes, let's start. In definition, minerals are micronutrients that are essential to human health and can be obtained in our diet from different types of food. Minerals are abundant in our everyday lives, from the soil in our front yard to the jewelry you wear on your body. We interact with minerals constantly. As we can see in the context of nutrition, a mineral is a chemical element required as an essential nutrient by organisms like animals or human to perform functions necessary for life. In short, minerals are those elements on the earth and in foods that our bodies need to develop and function normally. What if somebody asked you or somebody na may nagtanong sa'yo na, Sir, gaano ba kahalaga yung ang minerals sa ating body? Simple lang, no? Minerals are important in our body to stay healthy. Our body uses minerals for many different jobs, including keeping our bones, muscles, heart, brain working properly. Minerals are also important for making enzymes and hormones. When we say enzymes, these are the proteins that help speed up metabolism. But how are minerals classified in nutrition? So minerals are classified as either macro minerals or major minerals and trace minerals. It depends on the amount needed in our body. So when we say major minerals or macro minerals, are those minerals that are required in the diet in amounts larger than 100 milligrams each day. This include sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sulfur. And at this very moment, let's discuss first the function of each substances and what are the sources that comes from the certain element of the macro minerals or major minerals. Let's start with the sodium. Sodium. It is needed for proper fluid balance. It plays a vital role in the nerve transmission and muscle contraction. So the food that has sodium is that stable salt, soy sauce, large amounts and processed foods, small amounts and milk, breads, vegetables, and unprocessed meats. The second one is chloride. When we say chloride, it is needed for proper fluid balance as well as with the sodium. It is needed in our stomach acid. So the food that has a chloride is table salt, soy sauce, large amounts and processed foods, small amounts in milk, meats, breads, and vegetables. The third one is potassium. Potassium is same with the sodium that is needed for proper fluid balance. It plays a vital role in our nerve transmission and muscle contraction. So the food that has a potassium is meats, milk, fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grain and legumes. Next, let's proceed to the calcium. Did you know that calcium is important for healthy bones and teeth? It helps muscles relax and contract. It is very important as well in nerve functioning, also in blood clotting, blood pressure regulation, and also immune system health. So the food that has a calcium is milk or milk products, canned fish with bones. Example of this is that the salmon and sardines. Next is the fortified tofu and fortified soy milk. Also, um, greens foods like broccoli, mustard greens, and legumes. Next, let's proceed to the phosphorus. Did you know that phosphorus is important for healthy bones and teeth? Same with the calcium. It is found in every cell, specifically part of the system that maintains acid-base balance. So the food that contains phosphorus is meat, fish, poultry, eggs, milk, and processed foods. When we say processed foods, it is included with the soda pop. Next, let's proceed to the magnesium. Magnesium is found in our bones or in our bones that is needed for making protein, also for muscle contraction, nerve transmission, and most especially in our immune system health. So the food that contains magnesium is nuts and seeds, legumes like leafy green foods, vegetables, seafood, chocolates, and also drinking water. Lastly is sulfur. Sulfur is found in protein molecules. It occurs in foods as a part of protein, such as meats, poultry, fish, eggs, milk, legumes, and nuts. And again, let's recap the different substances of macrominerals. The first one is sodium, potassium, chloride, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, and sulfur. So these major minerals can be found in many foods. While deficiencies are possible with minerals, consuming a varied diet significantly improves an individual's ability to meet their nutrients needs. Now, you already know the macrominerals, and at this juncture, let's proceed and let's move on to the second classification, the trace minerals. Did you know that trace minerals are classified as minerals required in the diet in smaller amounts, specifically 100 milligrams or less per day? In short, the body needs trace minerals in very small amounts. This include iron, copper, zinc, selenium, iodine, chromium, fluoride, manganese, and molybdenum. Although trace minerals are needed in smaller amounts, a deficiency of a trace mineral can just as detrimental or important to our health as a major mineral deficiency. And at this very moment, let's discuss the function of each substance and what are the sources that comes from these various substances of the trace minerals. Let's start with the iron. When we say iron, it is part of the molecule, specifically in our hemoglobin, found in red blood cells that carries oxygen in our body that is needed for energy or metabolism. The food that contains iron are organ meats, red meats, fish, poultry, egg yolks, and so on. Next, the second one is the zinc. Zinc is the part of enzymes that is needed for making protein and genetic material that has a function in taste perception, wound healing, normal fetal development, production of sperm, also in normal growth and sexual maturation, and lastly, our immune system health. So the food that contains zinc are meats, fish, poultry, whole grains, and vegetables. Next is iodine. Iodine is found in the thyroid hormone, which helps to regulate growth, development, and metabolism. So the food that contains iodine are seafoods, foods that grown in iodine-rich soil, iodized salt, bread, and dairy products. The next one is selenium. Selenium is rich in antioxidants. When we say antioxidants, it is to protect the body from damage caused by harmful molecules called oxygen free radicals. So some antioxidants are vitamins. So vitamins such as beta carotenes and vitamin E and C that are naturally found in many fruits and vegetables or are available as supplements. So the food that are example of this are meats, seafoods, and grains. Next is the copper. Copper is part of many enzymes and needed for iron for metabolism. When we say enzymes, are proteins that help speed up metabolism or the chemical reactions in our body. And they help some substances and break others down. So take note, all living things have enzymes. So our body naturally produces enzymes. So the food that contains copper are legumes, nuts, and seeds, whole grains, organ meats, and also from drinking water. Next is the manganese. Manganese is part of many enzymes. As I said a while ago, enzymes are proteins that help speed up metabolism. So the food that contains manganese are widespread in food, especially plant foods. Next, let's proceed to the fluoride. Fluoride involves the formation of bones and teeth, and as a result of this, it helps to prevent tooth decay. So we can get fluoride from drinking water, either fluoridated or naturally containing fluoride. Next is chromium. Chromium works closely with insulin to regulate blood sugar or our glucose levels. So some food that contain chromium are unrefined foods, especially liver, brewer's yeast, whole grains, nuts, and cheeses. And lastly, the molybdenum. Molybdenum is part of the enzymes. Enzymes, I said a while ago, are proteins that help speed up metabolism or the chemical reactions in our bodies. So some food that contain molybdenum are breads and grains, leafy greens, vegetables, milk, and so on. Now, you already know what is mineral all about and also the classification of it. And always remember that there are two kinds of minerals, the macro minerals and the trace minerals. When we say the macro minerals, it is the minerals that is in larger amounts. It includes calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, sodium, potassium, chloride, and sulfur. And when we say trace minerals, we only need a small amount. It includes iron, manganese, copper, iodine, zinc, fluoride, and selenium. Above all, minerals plays a vital role in every individual's health, and also it is important in our body to stay healthy. Once again, I am Dexter P. Perote, and that's the end of our discussion. Always remember, health is the best wealth. Thank you so much.